into a leader. So if we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that, TED. Thanks.
Do you enjoy the video? Okay, now two things. What did you see? What did you learn from this video? What's important from this video? What have you learned? Yes.
A leader with patience and a lot of people. Maybe they don't know what the leader do, but they know I have to follow him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you think the leader should be patient, but other people eventually will follow you if you are patient enough. Eventually you will draw a crowd.
In my opinion, if the followers are more rational, and they will, if they think that
Irrational or rational?
rational,
Okay.
if they think the leader's doing a good thing, and they'll follow.
Okay, okay. He thinks the crowd, the followers are rational. Okay. You can tell me later if you agree or disagree. How about you? He thinks followers are rational. They are very reasonable. They know what they're doing. They're rational. They know what they're doing. They make a decision and then join the leader.
I didn't think so. I think they didn't know what they're doing and just join and dancing and didn't know why and how to do that.
Okay, so he thinks the crowd is irrational. They just join everybody because everybody is doing it.
I think this help.
Huh? Huh? He needs what? Huh? It's not good. It's not good. How about you?
I think followers are very sensitive to observation, and they tend to detect whether this behavior will ridicule others, and they choose what to do.
So followers are very sensitive. Yeah, they don't want to be a fool, right? They don't want to be ridiculed.
So
If
they
everybody
follow.
else is doing it, it's okay. Then they will do it. Yeah.
I think the first follower is important because the followers join can make the first person's crazy behavior become a trend.
Right.
So everyone, more and more people will like to join them.
Right. So the second person or the first follower will make the leader, turning the leader from an idiot to a leader. You didn't see? Yeah. Okay. How about you?
I just wonder if no one actually joined the first person, what will the result be?
Very good. What if no one joined that first person who was dancing wildly? What's going to happen? I'd like to hear Dr. Rao's opinion. Could you come here to give your opinion?
Well, I speak as one who would, in a situation like that, probably not join. Because I'm just not into being silly dancing in front of people. I mean, if it's something worthwhile, then I'll do it. But I would probably be the leader of the group that's sitting behind and not going forward.
You can tell me
So-
your personality types.
I'm an analyzer. But you all, I think, were here this morning and you heard about the different types. So, yeah, I would analyze it and say, do I want to join or not? I wouldn't join just because everybody else is doing it. But nonetheless, in order to get something going, whether it's getting it going or stopping it, there has to be somebody doing something. I mean, if I were just sitting there, I wouldn't stop it. But if I got up and left and said, I don't want to be part of this, then that would be then I would have to draw others with me. There would have to be a second person, a third person to join that movement away to say, not my style.
On the other hand, I'm a taskmaster, especially an energizer. I would be just like Nurul. In a situation like that, I would be the first follower to dance wildly with the idiot. So you can see the personality type differences, right? He would just eventually getting so upset and choose to leave. And perhaps other people will join him, maybe yes or maybe not. But Jesse makes a good point. What if nobody follows? What would the first person do? What would the first person do? What do you think? What do you think? The first person is no longer a leader if there's no follower, right? The first person, the dancer, is just an idiot. Just an idiot. So in other words, what have you learned from watching this video? What lesson? What impressed you the most? What have you learned from this video? Yes.
If you want to make some action, you need to prepare a follower. So you prepare a follower, you can make it. You can do something and you make some followers. So some people look at, oh, there are many people, so they join. So when I sell something and I can prepare some flower to buy my friend, and there some people will think it is popular, so they will buy. And I didn't think it is wrong or right, but that's human right, yeah.
Yeah, how do you attract followers? If you were the first idiot, how would you attract a follower to follow you? Or is it something that you are not in control? You have no control over? What do you think? If you were the first guy, how would you attract a follower?
I think if the follower appreciate the initiator's idea, they will follow, I think.
Okay, in other words, if your idea or philosophy or values that can attract somebody else to identify with you, they will follow you anyway, right? Erica.
I think what's important to note about the first person, we're calling him the idiot for now.
He can be an idiot if no follower, but he is a leader when there is a crowd to follow him.
Yeah, and for many people, you have to be an idiot before you become a leader. But even though he was the only person standing there doing whatever he was doing, you could say that he believed in what it was that he was doing, so he kept on doing it until eventually more people caught on and they joined in, and more people. So I think it's important to note that you're not going to automatically be a leader, and you have to be persistent in, especially if it's like in a cause or something that you really believe in and you feel that it can make a difference. At the beginning you might not have the backative of people, but if you stick with it, you'll get the others to join on and to come on board.
How many of you identify with the first follower? You feel you are the first follower. When you see something creative, innovative, you join it. You be the first. Like when the Apple product came out, you would be the first to buy it. You would stand in line overnight to buy it. How many of you would be that first follower? Okay?
But not for Apple.
Not for Apple, but for other things. Okay? Anything else you learned from this video?
A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people who are creative, are often creative, and they try something new and they fail. There are no followers. They try something else and they fail. There are no followers. But eventually they find that one thing that works, and then they get followers, then they're a leader. But it doesn't always happen the first time. And part of that is knowing your audience. He did this in a group of young partying people. And so it worked. If he had done it among a group of university professors, they'd probably just say, and try to analyze it, figure out why he's doing this. So you need to know your crowd, you need to know your audience, you need to know your consumers, whatever the situation is.
Okay? So, this actually connects very well with Ashley's choice of video clip. She looks at diffusion theory. Okay? When you are an idiot, quote unquote, or an innovator, you started something new. 2.5% are those innovators. Okay? Or you're willing to try something new. But then you need early adopters. Early adopters, then once you reach the first 15 or 16%, then that's a threshold. When you have enough early adopters, boom, you have the third crowd to join you. That's the so-called early majority. Then half of the people already adopt your idea. Then you have late majority, 34%, but there's always laggers, the final 16% who may never join you, who are never interested in what you do. So I think this diffusion theory also accounts for people's behavior in a movement, be it advertising or political movement. And what's interesting is in this video, the speaker also talks about why, how, and what. When you try to convince somebody to buy your product, what kind of advertising is effective? Your first reaction is talk about what is your product, right? And how do you use this product? But it says the most effective way is actually to start from why. Why did I create a product like this? What is my philosophy? What is my value? What is my way of living? And I try to persuade you to do the same. If you identify with my belief, then you will buy my product. The what and the how follows the why. So that's another video, which is, that's why I feel the participants in Geneva program are really very creative, and you have lots of good ideas, even though they are not here today. You can see good video clips. All right. We won't look at Obama's victory speech. And this one is Steve Jobs introduced MacBook Air. You also know Steve Jobs knows how to use props, right? When he wanted to show you this brand new, let's just see quickly how Steve Jobs used props in the presentation. This morning, Erica said she wanted us to make good use of props when we do our role plays. We'll just look at the first couple minutes.
Today, we're introducing a third kind of notebook. It's called the MacBook Air. It's so thin, it even fits inside one of these envelopes that we've all seen floating around the office. And so let me go ahead and show it to you now. This is it. Let me take it out here. This is the new MacBook Air, and you can get a feel for how thin it is. Yeah, there it is. This is what it looks like. Incredible. It's the world.
Okay, Head back to my slide. So how does he make good use of his prop? Yeah, you want to say something? Okay, who would like to share? You watch this. Now, would you like to share with us?
Use prop.
Use prop.
Do you know what a prop is?
No.
That's a problem.
Uh-huh.
A prop is when you're doing a skit or a theater, a prop is something that you hold or something that you use. So all of the things around the set are called props. It comes from property. Okay, so these are the property of the theater that you are using. You're using the coat, you're using the hat, you're using the bottle. All of those things that are part of the theater are called props.
In other
So-
words, it's 道具. Okay, prop.
Yeah.
He used the bag, a little bag,
Envelope, yeah.
envelope to put the MacBook Air into the envelope. So it's like you want to show that the MacBook is very thin and very small. It can bring very convenient.
Okay, so it's a surprise, right? Comes like a surprise. What else? How can he be successful when he brings this prop out? And why is it so, wow, oohs and ahs? Why do people like it?
It appears and where we don't think.
It's very unexpected,
Yeah.
right? It's unexpected.
And he used one thing to the other thing. I mean we often don't know how to spell a good, how well it is, and we use another things to say about
Right. In other words, he used analogy.
it. Yes.
Like an envelope is an analogy, right? And we look at how thin an envelope can be. We put the Mac in it. Anything else? I actually think the audience makes a difference. I think the audience makes a difference. When he brings things out, just like the idiot, if there's nobody saying, oh, wow, wonderful, oh, if nobody says that, I think it just defeats the purpose. It's not impressive. But I think the audience response makes it successful. So I actually want to thank the audience for making him a leader. How about the others? Do you have any comments? Want to say something about Steve Jobs? How about you? What's your impression?
I think that he used the envelopes to put in the Mac Air as it's a hooker that can catch everybody's eyes immediately. So people will expect that he will show other surprise to them.
Right. So in other words, it's like a magic show. Magic. All of a sudden, a rabbit comes up, right? A rabbit, or a pigeon. It's just full of surprises. So I think he used the analogy of a magic show. He's a magician. Okay, next, I think it's Mia. Mia, Mia is going to share with us Emma Watson's speech on He for She campaign. Mia is interested in what real feminism is. Let's just look in a couple minutes.
Big round of applause for Pumzile Malambo Nuka. Pumzile, thank you very much. Your words truly, truly inspiring. An excellent way, inspired way to kick off.
Distinguished guests. Today, we are launching a campaign called He for
I am reaching out to you because we need your help. We want to end gender inequality. And to do this, we need everyone involved. This is the first campaign of its kind at the UN. We want to try and galvanize as many men and boys as possible to be advocates for change. And we don't just want to talk about it. We want to try and make sure that it's tangible.
Okay, now we're going to ask Mia to share with us. Can you come forward and give us a presentation of Emma Watson's speech?
She introduced some concept of feminism, that the feminism isn't just about what we used to think that it's like we think that women is better, or just men hating some kind of things. It means that we should just we need not only for women to fight for their rights, but also men, because it's not just about feminism, but gender equality. And she shares some her personal experience, and that with a strong and specific goal. And
You have to prepare something yourself. Don't worry about this.
okay, I bring my notes.
Sure.
Because sometimes we may have some stereotypes to the genders, like we think men should be masculine, and they can easily show their feelings in front of others, and women should be feminine and weaker, or we sometimes can get the same salary when we do the same job as the men do. Emma Watson thinks that all the countries in the world, not a country that actually has the gender equality. So we need everyone to involve and fight for. And she also quotes a saying of English statesman Edmund Burke says. He says that all that is needed for the forces of evil to triumph is for enough good men and women to do nothing. So if we just see and doesn't do anything, we can help gender equality, or to let people know our feelings or opinion. So in the end of her speech, she invited everyone to support this concept, and she said, "If not me, who? If not now, when?" So we should take action immediately.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry?
I didn't see the whole clip. Did she quote Edmund Burke as saying only if enough men and women don't or do nothing? Is that how she quoted it? I think if you go back to the original quote, I sort of doubt the women are in there, because Edmund Burke was 1800s, I believe, and women basically were not part of society. So I think she put, yeah, I mean, Edmund Burke, I think if you check the original quote, only said men. Because I've heard that quote before and I don't remember any women being in there. But she obviously put that in, she inserted that into the quote as a way of making her message clear, that men and women need to contribute, need to do something.
Yeah. How about the last quote? If not us, who? If not now, when? By John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, again, this is a quote that's been used in many different contexts. Basically, every leader of whatever cause is, trying to say, now is the time. So I think that's true of any leader. They believe in their message. They believe that this is the time. The question again goes back to the followers. Can they get enough followers to make it happen?
Okay. So after this presentation, what have you learned from Mia's sharing? What did you learn from her sharing? Let's start with you.
It's always good to use a quote.
Right? Yes. Direct quotes, like quoting from John F. Kennedy, or a quote from Edmund Burke. What's the function of using quotes? What do you think? What's the function of using quotes? What impression that can give other people if you use direct quotes?
To let the audience to be inspiring, and to let them know if they don't do that, and you might lose some opportunity or
Right, you feel inspired, but who else feel, what's the function? We don't have to use quotes, right? Why do we use quotes? Why is it so powerful?
I think quoting is more can convince others.
Why?
Because always we will use the quote from celebrities.
Yes.
So what they say is more powerful.
In other words, you borrow the authority from that celebrity who was authoritative, right? You borrow his authority to convey your authority.
Yes.
It's very much like citing some authors. When you write, you cite a very important, famous writer, right, to support your idea. Anything else about the quotes or the presentation style?
Actually, I was inspired by the content. And so I understand now that there's not only female inequality, but also male inequality.
Exactly. What is male inequality?
Male inequality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you see, you're inspired. Tell
Yeah.
us about it.
Okay, so I think there are all stereotypes for men and for women, and sometimes we all live under this kind of context. So it's important to break such unreasonable context and live in a really equal life, I think.
Very good. So Mia, you made his life different, right? You made an important impression. So now he is going to be a different man. Okay. What do you expect Bill Gates to talk about at Harvard graduation? We don't have to watch it. What do you expect? Let me first ask you. When a certain person stands to give a talk, by looking at him, you have some expectation, right? What do you expect to hear from Bill Gates?
We'll talk something about charity, I think, because he does a lot of good things.
Charity. Okay, what else? Why don't you say it a little bit, please? What's your name? Janice. Janice. Okay. All right. Okay. Janice.
I think because it's the graduation ceremony,
Yes.
so I think he might say something about students' future, what they are going to do after they graduate, or what they want to pursue in their future.
Okay. So that's one expectation. Anything else? Anything else you expect from Bill Gates? Bill Gates, because everybody can talk about students' future, right? How to prepare yourself for the future. But why Bill Gates? What do you expect to hear from Bill Gates? What do you want to hear from him? Yeah, Bill Gates.
I want to
Okay, let him finish first.
because our school teach our many how to succeed, how to get something, but it didn't teach our how to fail. Fail. So I want to learn how to get something fail or change it and something like about that.
Right. Would you play? Yes. Interesting, because we know he dropped out from Harvard. He never graduated from Harvard. So he wanted
After
to
a
hear.
33-year leave of absence from his alma mater, I am pleased to present to you Dr. William Gates. Thank you. President Bach, former President Rudenstein, incoming President Faust, members of the Harvard Corporation and the Board of Overseers, members of the faculty, parents, and especially the graduates. I've been waiting more than 30 years to say this. Dad, I always told you I'd come back and get my degree.
Okay, so what's interesting here?
I think it started with a very funny beginning, so attract the audience's attention.
But why did he say that, Dad? I always told you I would come back to get the degree.
Because he was kicked out before.
He dropped out.
Dropped it.
He dropped out because he wanted to start his own business. Right. So he didn't want to waste his time going to school. He just wanted to start doing something real. And he always told his father that he would go back and graduate someday. He never got his bachelor's, but eventually he was given an honorary doctorate when he gave the graduation speech.
That's why he was addressed as a Dr. Gates. It's an honorary doctoral degree. And at the end, he said he has one regret. He has one regret. He said he learned a lot about how to do business at Harvard, but he never paid enough attention to humanities. And as a result, there's so much inequality and poverty in today's world. But he was not sensitive and aware enough when he was at Harvard. That was a regret. So you can watch this later if you are interested. Jessie left, right? The other Jessie left. Actually, she chose this 5 Ways to Kill Your Dreams. Are you interested in the title? Yeah? Okay. All right. 5 ways. What are the 5 ways to kill your dreams? Let's look at the summary. First, believe in overnight success. Second, believe someone else has the answer for you. Third, believe that when comfort is guaranteed, you should settle down. Fourth, believe that the fault is someone else's. Fifth, believe that it's only goals that matter. In other words, she values the process. It's not just the goals. And when you reach the goal, she doesn't believe you should settle down. You should continue. for the next goal, and so on. And when she finishes the presentation, she says, surprising conclusion, if you believe in me, it will destroy your dreams. So that's a very interesting way to do her presentation, right? First, by telling you 5 ways to kill your dreams. And after she tells you the 5 ways, she says, if you believe in me, it will destroy your dreams. See the irony? All right. It's time to take a break for 5 minutes. Let's take a break.
Or let's change the story to the US story, right? This is 那你的那个项目平常已经做一些的或者是广告的策略啊，语言的策略啊，还有这些行销啊，这都跟你是有关的。也就是这是业务里的一部分，可以做这个。商学院、管理院，其实。Well, if her shoes, step one, and step all over
want you to confirm your, want to send your text so you can send the confirmation.
My brother, he has this T-shirt. All something like that. Because he's a chubby man. So
Great.
yours is old. I was about to say your computer, and then I was like, your is old. Sorry. Post lunch.
All right, let's have a seat. Sorry, I didn't get Janice's video. So she's going to show her video for a couple minutes. Janice is going to show her video for a couple minutes and tell us about the tips to do a presentation.
In the live events and production industries for over 40 years, and I've worked with hundreds of presenters all over the world. In this video, we are going to share with you our top 10 tips guaranteed to make you a better presenter. So, let's get started. Number 1, focus on the audience. Your presentation is not about you, it's about the audience. What benefit will the audience get from listening to you? What do you want them to think, feel, and do as a result of listening to you? Once you have these clear objectives in your mind, you are on your way to delivering a winning presentation. Number 2, delete
We're going to
all
ask
excess
Janice
text
to tell us the
from your
rest.
slides. Loads of bullet points on your
The video topic is talking about 10 tips that we might miss when we are going to presentation. And the first one is, just she said, focus on the audience. Because you want to let the audience know what you are going to think about or do or feel that the topic you are going to talk about. So if you have clear objectives in your mind, you can have the winning presentation. And the second one is delete all the excess text from your slides, because this is not the notes of your speaking, so you can write too much word on the slide. We have to give some like powerful image or pictures so that the audience can see the slide, so we can endure the audience. And the third one is keep it simple. Using some simple words and easy to understand words that audience can understand easily. And the fourth is rehearse, because like we are going to have a presentation, we have to practice and practice. And the number five is make friends with people, because going to have a presentation, you have to practice more. And if you have friends, they can give you advice and give you some suggestions when you're practicing your speech. And number 6 is dress to impress, because it's the presentation. So if you dress too casual, the audience might think that you are not notice attention about this speaking. So you have to dress impressively. And number 7 is be comfortable, because you don't have to use some very difficult words or to use some famous quote. So because if you're going to comfortable, just be yourself, and you can let the audience to attend your speaking. And number 8 is stand still, because giving a presentation, you can waving, or you can just stand not too normal, or not just don't waving. And number 9 is tell a story, because if you give a story, it's just like the audience can quickly go into your speaking, and it can engage the conversation with the audience to talk about the topic goal. And the last one is be enthusiastic, because if you have the enthusiasm, and the audience can feel the passion of your enthusiastic, so that the audience can quickly see your speech and presentation. And that's all. Thank you.
Barry, would you like to comment on her presentation?
Yeah, a good summary. A lot of things that are very important there in terms of, again, both what goes on the slide should be not too much. And when you speak, you are creating an impression. So how you dress, how you stand, how you speak, whether you look at your audience as you speak rather than looking over their heads, all of those things are part of an effective presentation. Now, she said stand still, and generally that's a good idea, especially if you have a lectern that you're standing behind. But there are some speakers who just feel more comfortable going back and forth. You see Steve Jobs, I mean, he's never stands still. But that's part of being yourself. If you're comfortable standing still, stand still and confident. If you're comfortable walking, walk confidently, but don't slouch, don't stick your hand in your pocket, don't twitch and fiddle, and those are the things.
Okay, good. Next, we have some very unique presentations. I'd like to start by just showing quickly. This is a person escaped from North Korea who learned both Chinese and English.
Was young, I thought my country was the best on the planet. And I grew up singing a song called Nothing to Envy. And I was very proud. In school, we spent a lot of time studying the history of Kim Il-sung, but we never learned much about the outside world. Except that America, South Korea, Japan are the enemies. Although I often wondered about the outside world, I thought I would spend the entire my life in North Korea until everything suddenly changed. When I was 7 years old, I saw my first public execution, but I thought my life in North Korea was normal. My family was not poor, and myself had never experienced hunger. But one day in 1995, my mom brought home a letter from a Caucasus sister. It read, "When you read this, our 5 family members will not exist in this world because we haven't eaten for the past day. We are lying on the floor together and our bodies are so weak. We are ready to die."
Okay. Kiwi.
I think this video. This video has strong accent, so I summarize it. I chose the topic "My Escape from North Korean" by Li Xianxi. The following is summary. Li was born in North Korea, and she thinks that she was living in one of the best world in this one of the best countries in this world. So, but until 1990s, the Great Famine, she was aware that North Korean is not what like she imagined, and I tried, and then the whole speech is about his refugee life and his family. They are in exile overseas. In his presentation strategies, firstly, she used language to make people enter his story more easily. This is Korean, but she made a speech in English, which indicates her experience of being exiled overseas. In order to conceal the truth that she is a North Korean defector, so she has to learn more language and be fluent in that. And the second strategy is there are a lot of climax reason repeated. In her stories, there are a lot of climax, like she was caught by Chinese police, and she pretend herself like a native Chinese, and I think finally she was safe, but in this part, we audience we all would think that oh, it's a narrow gap, and the third strategy is she used his emotion. Lee tends to use some engaging sentences and some of the turns to make people enter his stories more easily. Like, I thought my heart was going to explode, this kind of hyperbole. And the fourth strategy is cozy question. In her speech, she asked herself, who am I? Am I a Korean? Am I a North Korean or South Korean? And that kind of self-monologue and self-identity is cozy question. Sorry, in my opinion, North Korea is a sensitive issue to us. However, if we are not under the perspective of politics, but of humanities, perhaps the North Korean de facto would get rid of their misery more easily. And they have the right to live and fight for themselves.
The battery is probably dying.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Jerry, would you give some context?
Yeah. Do you have new batteries for those?
That one doesn't work. That one is very noisy. That one is noisy. No, don't use that one. That one is noisy.
Yeah, I mean, just a little part that we saw there, you could see where she was talking about this family that was about to die because they didn't have enough food. And you could hear she was struggling to say that because she still felt that very plainly. And because she felt that, and you could hear that edge in her voice as she's trying to keep from crying, so you get drawn into that as well. Of course, that's what actors do. They pretend, and they put that edge in their voice, and they pretend very well. That's why they're actors. But for her, that was not acting. That was real, because it was something she had experienced. And sometimes we think when we're up front, when we're speaking, we shouldn't show emotion because that hinders us. But there's a balance. You need to control the emotion so that you don't break down on stage. You need to control the nervousness. We all feel nervous when we present. You need to control that. But you can use, yeah, I know, we saw it, that's okay. But you can use that to your advantage as well. You can use that emotion to draw the audience in and get them on your side. Like, yes, come on, I want to hear it, yes. You know, because when they hear that you don't quite have it, that you're hurting, they want you to be able to say that and get it out. When it's really meaningful to you, the audience wants to hear it. So use that to your advantage.
I think the audience wants the presenter to be successful, right? When we are listening to somebody speaking, we want him or her to be successful because we are spending our precious time listening to this person. We think she or he has something worthwhile to share. So keep that in mind when you share. We want you to succeed. We want to hear something interesting from you. And I think this choice is really great. because we usually would choose some other people who speak very, who speaks English without any accent, right? But this person has very strong accent. However, her story is very touching. When I look at this video, my first reaction is, oh, it's so difficult to understand her message. What is she trying to say? And I had to calm down and pay attention, because somehow my first impression is, I don't understand her. I don't want to listen to her. That was my first impression. But then I knew we had a good story to tell. I calmed down and started to listen carefully, and I was very much touched. So thank you for sharing this wonderful and so unique story with us. It's not like Bill Gates, right? It's not like Obama. It's such a touching story and so unique. All right, Robert is not here. In this video, we all know when we give a presentation, we feel pressure, right? We are afraid. But this simply tells us how to make friends with pressure. And I think the message tells us when you are under pressure, you become more sociable. You can disagree with her. This is a her, yeah. You can disagree with her, with the speaker. And she says, when you are under pressure, you are also healthier. Do you agree or not agree? When you are under pressure, do you feel you are more sociable? If you're under pressure, you are healthier. Agree or disagree?
I agree, because not too much stress can make you to do something you are afraid to do.
Say it again.
I said not too much pressure make you to do that you are afraid to do, of doing that.
Did you get the point?
You mean if you have a little bit of pressure, it can...
Yeah, not too much.
Okay.
If you get too much, you will be unhealthy and
Too much pressure will break you, but
Yes.
a little bit pressure will be helpful.
a little bit, right?
I see. How about you? Do you think pressure is a good thing? Is a friend?
Yeah, I think moderate pressure is a good thing, because you always need something to get your life moving, I think. And because just like it feels like the last person, I don't know how the last analysis, and there,
You mean this one?
I forgot the name of that.
You mean this one?
Oh no, how 5 ways to
Oh,
what, I forgot.
5 ways to
Oh, yeah.
kill your dreams.
Yeah, and there's one point that's the third one, yeah. Believe that when comfort is guaranteed and you should settle down. I think these two are the same idea.
Right. So you need pressure to push you forward. Don't just sit back and relax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay? So this is be friend with your pressure. Be friend with pressure. Okay, the next one. Why lunch ladies are heroes. What does that mean? What do you think this message is all about? Why lunch ladies are heroes?
First of all, do you know what lunch ladies are?
Now, tell us. Sometimes we can't tell from the title, right? Because we don't have the cultural background.
Yes.
This is why she brought me along, I think. Lunch ladies would refer to, in an American school system, at lunchtime, the children will come and they'll come to a cafeteria, and the lunch ladies will serve. They'll go down the row, and they'll get mashed potatoes and corn and vegetables and their chicken nuggets or whatever is being served that day, and the lunch ladies will put the food on the tray. It's a different system than Taiwan, obviously, where usually the mothers prepare lunch, but there the school will prepare lunch for everyone, and the lunch ladies will serve it. But they don't just serve lunch in many cases. They'll say, "Hi, how are you doing today?" And your dress is beautiful today. Oh, today you look sad. What's going on? So they'll often be very friendly to the students and talk with them in a way that's different than the teachers will.
Right. So this person talks about how lunch ladies inspired him to draw pictures and eventually became a very successful author. Okay, the next one, the power of yet, the power of yet. What this tells us is, you all know at the end of the semester, if you don't turn in your homework or if you fail the exam, what's going to show on your record? What's going to show on your record if you cannot turn in the assignments, if you fail the test? What's going to show on your transcript? Huh? In red, what does it say? It's not 60, right? It's you didn't pass, you failed, right? And in graduate school, if you didn't turn in things, sometimes it's pass versus fail. The grade is pass or fail. Then it will show on your record you failed. Here it says, the education expert says, you don't put fail on student's record. You put not yet there. You put not yet. She hasn't turned in her final good work yet. She hasn't been able to finish everything yet, but eventually she will be able to. So this is another speech about the power of yet. Now we're going to ask Kendrick, right? Kendrick is going to show us another presentation also on education. Okay. How to run away from the Death Valley of education. Correct. Could you just play the first 30 seconds? Yes, Kendrick. Kendrick.
Actually, truthfully, I moved to America 12 years ago with my wife Terry and our 2 kids. Actually, truthfully, we moved to Los Angeles. Thinking we were moving to America, but it's a short plane ride from Los Angeles to America. I got here 12 years ago, and when I got here, I was told various things, like Americans don't get irony. Have you come across this idea? It's not true. I've traveled the whole length and breadth of this country. I have found no evidence that Americans don't get irony. It's one of those cultural myths, like the British are reserved. I don't know why people think this. We've invaded every country we've encountered. But it's not true Americans don't get irony, but I just want you to know that that's what people are saying about you behind your back. You know, when you leave living rooms in Europe, people say, thankfully, nobody was ironic in your presence. But I knew.
Okay. Kendrick is going to share with us what's good about this presentation.
Hello everyone, I'm Kendrick. And this video is I watched the first time is in I study college. I graduated from National Pingtung University of Education. I study in education. So I think this is I see this boring, but when it start, it give me a joke, and I think, oh wow, it's something new. So I watch, and I watch, and think this is different. So I think you do something. You first you need to do something to arouse everybody to pay attention. So if you have to take a joke, you can do this. So it's the why I think is the I can go to everyone. Sorry, I didn't want to say something. So and and when he say something, he will slow down and he will to make time to let the audience to think about it. So when you talk about something, you can slowly, you can quickly and friendly say wrong. So if you put some time to let audience to listening and thinking, your approach will be success. So this I chose this video. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Let's give him some encouragement. There are some jokes here. As an American, let the American interpret why it's so funny.
Well, again, partially you need to know your audience. His jokes were saying, when we moved to America, well, not really America, Los Angeles, where was he speaking? He was speaking in New York City. New York City is on the East Coast, Los Angeles is on the West Coast, East and West Coast. I mean, if he had been speaking in Los Angeles, he probably would have said, oh, I was in New York City, America a while ago. Oh, New York City isn't really America. You can always make fun of the other person,